We left in the morning. I remember my mother waking me up. I remember my clothes were in a box of cookies because that was my only luggage. And I remember they were tied up with a rope. And I was carrying this box of cookies with my clothes in them. And I remember getting on a bus. I remember all these buses. I remember vomiting on my mother a lot because, I got car sick. And it was 3 days. And then I remember coming to the U.S., or it wasn't in the U.S. yet because I was in Tijuana, and we were waiting for my father to get us. I was born with blonde curly hair. I actually dyed my hair black to look a little more Latina because I used to get mistaken for white all the time when I was a young woman, and I hated it. So when I was a little girl, I had blonde curly hair, and I guess there was a white woman that they hired who passed me off as her child because back then they just assumed I was her child and nobody asked and just said U.S. citizen. This time when we finally were going to be with my father, I don't remember how we crossed, but I remember he came to pick us up, and I don't know if we used false documents or what. Maybe we did. And then I remember coming to the U.S. and being so happy. My mom said we were going to Los Angeles. In Spanish, it means to the angels. So I was thinking, wow, like the angels. And I remember looking at the bus and waiting for the wheels to lift up into the sky. Yeah, I really thought, oh my God, when's the bus going to take off and go to heaven? Because maybe my father is with the angels. And so it was kind of like, wow, we're here. This is in heaven. Like, wow. So I do remember that day.
You get emotional still talking about it and thinking about it?
I do. It's funny, I haven't talked about this. I actually wrote a poem, and sometimes when I read that poem out loud in public, when I share my poetry, I do, but I'm surprised that I cry about this. And maybe I cry because, I think that a lot of people don't want to leave their countries to come here. I think when people think, oh, they want to be Americans and take our job, I go, no. My parents live in Mexico. Their American dream is back in Mexico. And they're really happy there. They said, we never wanted to be Americans. We just wanted to give you an opportunity and a chance, to get an education, to have all the things that we were never promised. So I cry because it's sad that you had to leave your own country,